You're tired, you're stressed, you don't know what to do next. You feel like you're stuck in life and you feel like you have no control over your own emotions. You feel helpless and you feel like you've hit rock bottom. But what if rock bottom was not this bad place that you thought it was? What if rock bottom is actually the beginning of your new life? Hi everyone, my name is Gigi and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about what to do if you feel like you've hit rock bottom and what rock bottom actually is and what it can mean for you. I'm sure we've all felt like this. We've all got to a point in our lives where we feel like nothing else can go wrong. Nothing can be worse than this exact moment. You feel lost, you feel helpless, you feel like genuinely life is at its worst. You don't know who to go to or where to turn for the next step, and you feel like this is it. You keep telling yourself that you can't live like this, you can't keep doing this. You feel numb or you feel too much. You're burnt out, you're sick of your life, you're sick of your job. All of this is what it feels like to be at rock bottom. This is what rock bottom is described as. You feel like you can't go on. Rock bottom feels different for everyone because at the end of the day, rock bottom is just a term. It's a feeling, a phrase that people use when they physically feel like they can't move forward. They feel like their life is at the lowest it could be. And that looks different for every single person depending on what their life has been like, what experiences they've already experienced. But rock bottom is the turning point. It's the exact point that you say to yourself, your old self says to yourself, this is it. I cannot continue. And this exact point is the most important point of your whole entire healing journey, because this is the point that you realize you can't continue in your old habits and your old behaviors. The reason it's so important is because without this point, there is no healing. There is no recognizing that you need to heal, that you can't move forward as this version of yourself. So although this is the most difficult part of your healing journey because you haven't really started it yet, it is the absolute most important part that you have to go through to realize you need to start your healing journey. Like I said, this part of your life can look different for everyone. It can be losing a relationship. It can be having to move out of your hometown or leaving a job because it doesn't suit you anymore. It can be getting fired or losing someone you love. It can be financial stress or emotional stress or health stress. It can be a whole combination of so many different things. What that looks like is different to everyone because everyone has their own unique situations. But it always feels very similar to everyone. The feeling of hopelessness, the feeling of disconnectedness, being extremely stressed and burnt out. And I don't mean burnt out in the way of you work too hard and you can't continue, but emotionally burnt out, feeling like you can't handle your own emotions anymore and you feel nothing, or you feel too much all at once. You question your every move like you've never done it before, like you've never experienced life before. And that's simply because you don't know what's next. You don't know what next moves to make. You feel stuck in this hellish environment that you don't know how to escape. But this is actually the best point to start your healing journey, and a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people are so caught up in the negatives of what hitting rock bottom is that they don't realize that rock bottom is not some hellish cage that they're stuck in, a rut that they can't climb out of, but it's actually a fresh start. Hitting rock bottom means one thing and one thing only. You have the chance to do it again. You have the chance to rebuild again. You've probably heard it, but once you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. If you feel like you have nothing, if you feel emotionally numb, you feel like you have no opportunities, you have no relationships, everything is falling apart, you have been given the most amazing opportunity because this means that you can start from the beginning. You now get to choose every single part of who you want to be and what you want your life to look like because you are starting again. You have a clean slate. You have nothingness. You can choose from this point forward. A little ladybird has just flown onto my hand. Rock bottom is often viewed as the worst time in someone's life, the time that people hide from people, that people don't want people to know that they're going through. People act that the sign of struggling is actually the sign of failure, and that you hitting rock bottom is some sort of ultimate failure in life. Like, all the experiences that you've had and all of the things that you have failed have accumulated into this one massive life failure. And because of that, you're scared to make the next move, because what if you fail again? But if you view hitting rock bottom like that, if you view it as this negative time, a time where you have nothing, you can't do anything, your life is done for, you can't fix it, you can't mend it, you can't put it back together, you can't rebuild, you will be stuck. Because if you believe there is no way out of this, there won't be a way out of it. If you believe that simply this will be you for the rest of your life because everything you do won't work out, that bad things always happen to you, that this is just who you are and what you're meant to experience. But if you reframe what hitting rock bottom is, if you see it for what it truly is, it's removing what isn't working for you out of your life. You might see it as the lowest point of your life, but in fact, it is the beginning of the new you. And how amazing that you have been given this opportunity to begin again, to do it again. And this time, you're doing it with experience. You're doing it with all of this knowledge of what not to do. If you think about it, from the moment you are born, you are experiencing, you are making decisions based on what you think you have to do. You build up these experiences, you build up these memories, these feelings, and then everything falls apart. And what are you left with? You are left with the beginning again. From there, you can build things on what you want, how you want to feel, how you want to think, what you want your life to look like. You are removing all of those negative things that didn't work for you in your old life, and you are rebuilding a new version of it with everything that does benefit you, everything that is positive to you. And what an amazing opportunity that you have to do that. Not many people do. Some people live their entire lives either stuck at that rock bottom moment, at that point where they feel they can't get out of. Or some people never realize they've hit rock bottom. They don't realize they need to change anything, and they go through their lives just believing that this is the way it's meant to be, that this is how they have to live or survive. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, I feel like I've hit rock bottom. My boyfriends broke up with me. We were together for a really long time. And now how am I meant to love again? Well, thank God he broke up with you. Thank God that person removed themselves from your life. Thank God you can move forward knowing who values you, who values and respects you. Thank God you got those experiences, so now you can go into the next relationship knowing it's going to work better, knowing what standards you have. And if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, I just lost my job, and how am I meant to find a new one? How am I meant to pay my bills? Well, thank God you've had the opportunity to reevaluate what you want in life, to see what careers genuinely suit you. Well, thank God you're able to look at what you want to actually do in your life, to focus on what you want to do that makes you happy when it comes to your career. Thank God you get to explore other jobs, other careers, and find one that makes you genuinely happy. Everything in life is about how you view it. So if you want to view things negatively, if you want to sit there and hate your life and hate every situation you've been in, if you want to curse everyone who's ever said anything or done anything bad to you, you can live that way. If you want to live that way, hating your life, being stuck in life, simply surviving what life is, go for it. But you will live a very miserable life, and you will never be happy with what you've done. And by the time you are 80, 90, you don't have your youth anymore, you don't have the opportunities anymore, you will regret your decision to not take action. The amount of older people that always say, I wish I had done this, I wish I had listened to this. This is your opportunity. Bad things happen in life. That's guaranteed. There's always going to be deaths. There's always going to be fallouts. There's always going to be stress and things that you lose. But with all of those bad moments, there's also insanely good moments. And if you're so focused on all of the bad stuff all of the time, my life's so bad things happen to me, you're never going to appreciate how many good things have actually happened to you. And if you only focus on those bad things, you will hate life. So thank God you've hit rock bottom. Thank God you now have the opportunity to build from the beginning, because everything you build from this point forward is down to you. Now you can make the same mistakes. You can view everything the same way, and you will rebuild the exact same life you had before. I can guarantee it, if you don't use that opportunity, you will continue living the same way, making the same mistakes, having the same bad situations happen to you. But if you use this experience, this exact turning point, to redirect your life, to start working on yourself, to start healing yourself, to make better decisions towards actually what you want, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel happy. It doesn't matter what happened before, because you'll be building a new life, a new version of yourself. And that new version of yourself will be better, stronger, more confident. You won't make the same mistakes. You won't do the same things you did in the past. For me, hitting rock bottom was the only way I recognized that I needed to do something different. Without hitting that point, I would not be sat here in front of you today. I would not have realized how wrong I was living. How I was simply just surviving what I thought I had to survive. What I thought I had no control over. But once I realized I did have control over it, I could change my life. I could change my outcome. I became a whole different person. Of course, I was still me, I was still Gigi, I was still the girl that I was when I was a child, but I had healed myself. I had built myself into this version that I knew I could live life through, not just survive it. So use this point of your life. If you truly feel like you have hit rock bottom, you feel like you can't go any lower than this, that life has given you all it has to offer, all the worst possible things that you think you can experience, and you feel lost and you feel tired and you feel frustrated, use it. Use this time to correct your life, to rebuild it, to heal it, and heal yourself. That is all from me today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to comment down below and I will try and get back to every single comment. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Bye.